listening to the mid.
Hey, Wendy.
Hey, Teresa, you need to tell us how Rome was.
Rome, the city of history and intrigue. It was very full. It was like very, very packed full of history. Some of it made me feel quite unintelligent because I didn't know a lot about the Romans.
Mhm.
I still have to Google stuff. Like a lot of things, we just took pictures of plaques so that we could go back and Google them later because
There's just
we
so
knew
much.
it's so much. It's like the beginning of civilization in one city. And what did the tour guide call it? She said it's like lasagna. She said Rome is like lasagna, and you think you've uncovered one layer, and then there's another layer, and then there's another layer. So it was
Wow.
jam-packed. We were only in Rome for 4 nights and then one night in Tivoli, and all of it was like overwhelmingly beautiful and like stimulating and fantastic and tiring. And, I was so happy to be there and I was so happy to come home.
Yeah. Yeah, those vacations can be very tiring.
I'm glad to be back recording. What episode
Me
is this,
too.
Wend?
This is episode 9.
It's 9. Even I knew that. Come on.
We miss a week. We miss 1 week, and I'm all messed up now.
Oh my God.
But I want to thank you for sending us your wonderful greeting photo
Oh, you're
that
really
was posted
welcome.
on Facebook.
Listen, someone had to loosen it up in the Vatican a bit. It was like a lot of people, a lot of religion. Someone needed to have a little fun with it.
Do we know who that statue was?
It was a dude. I mean, there's so many statues. By the end, and I'm going to sound like a real loser, but by the end of the Vatican, so you see so many beautifully painted frescoes and like the ceilings are everything's beautiful.
Mhm.
By the time you actually get to the Sistine Chapel, and the way that they suggest you go is that you see it last, you're looking up, and for me, I was like, oh, like you've seen room after room after room of incredible beauty and incredible art and sculpture, and
Mhm.
it's a lot. So I don't know who that was.
Okay.
I don't even know if he was well hung. All I know is that the leaf.
Well, it was, a mid-size leaf.
It wasn't ginormous. Like it really wasn't
No.
shocking. No. It's probably in proportion to the rest of him, but his head was probably missing. I mean, that's the way it is with these ancient statues.
Absolutely. So if anybody is interested in knowing what we're talking about, you can view the photo on our Facebook page or Instagram.
All right, when it's my turn.
It is your turn.
And
did you have time?
Did you have
time to think of a question? Did you have time to think of a question?
Do I have time to do this podcast? No. Actually, I have to run. I hate to break it to you. I have, like you, I have a list of questions that I build on, to choose from. And this one I was going to do for a couple of weeks, and then something else would come up because I thought, number one, this is not in line with my other questions at all.
Okay.
In fact, I was thinking this question, which is actually multiple questions under a theme, it's going to be hard for me to rant about anything here. I'll probably find something because it's a talent, but it will be hard to rant, and it's much lighter than previous topics I may have brought up. So,
okay, I'm intrigued.
Much ado, I'm going to do something that you'll have to describe, which will give you a hint as to what this topic may be about.
Okay.
Wendy, tonight,
yes,
for episode 9,
yes,
I'm going to ask you all things 80s.
Oh, fun.
We're going to discuss the following categories.
Okay.
Music, broken up into songs and musical acts. Movies, actors, including your crushes. Trends, styles, and oddities.
Oh my God, this is fun.
Let me be your guide back into the 80s.
All right, let's go.
Now, you and I spent much of the 80s together, I would say.
Yep.
Yeah, and we certainly had differing opinions on things.
Yes, we did.
And it'll be interesting to see what stands because I know that there's some things from the 80s that I may have rejected back then that I have since embraced, and probably vice versa. So, with
Okay.
no further ado, let's dive in.
Yeah.
All right, Wendy, let's talk
Hit me
music.
with your best shot.
Well, I think we're alone now, so we can dive right in. All right, let's go into songs. Let's pick some songs. So what else,
Okay.
what I have done in addition to this is to find some top lists to see if our taste corresponds or if we can like,
Oh, cool. I
yeah,
like this.
remember some of these
Okay.
top hits. So let's start with songs.
Okay.
Dude, what are your standout songs from the 80s? Things that would stand the test of
Oh,
time? I already know.
God.
I could probably do your part of this.
Okay, we'll do that. And I'll tell you if you're that could be fun. I'd like to see
With
what list
or
you've created.
without you.
Oh, well, yeah, anything you too. I mean, come on, people.
So that
It's
was
U2.
considered, yeah, the top song
Yeah.
of U2. Obviously, they had multiple hits during the 80s.
Yeah, and they were my favorite band.
I am aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did think it was odd that you had a crush on the Edge, who looked like he could have
Why?
been our uncle.
Oh, yeah, because of his age?
They were
I
old.
don't even think they're that much older than us.
He seemed old to me. Like I remember
Really?
being in your bedroom with your poster of him and staring at him going, uh-huh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
I'm Googling as we speak their ages.
of course you were.
I need to know.
The defense of U2 begins. And I, as you know, was not a big U2 fan. They're older,
Yeah, no,
aren't
you
they?
weren't.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, Edge is 63. I'm 50 next week, so
But
it's not that
when,
bad.
how old were you when you thought he was attractive?
Oh, 13.
Yeah, perhaps you had a daddy issue with Edge there. Papa Edge. Yeah, I do have an appreciation for some of their music now.
Okay.
I will say.
Such as?
There was a song I liked. I can't remember it. I'd have to look at their discography. Like, I mean, I can listen to With or Without You. It's not my favorite. To be super honest,
No,
I
that's not my
probably
favorite.
no, and I would probably change the radio station if I was listening to the radio and it came on.
Okay. My favorite, and has always been my favorite, is Pride. That's my favorite
And
song.
that made it to number 38 out of 100 when I looked up the VH1 Top 100 Greatest 80s Songs. Wendy.
Oh, wow.
Okay, what else? Well, you loved Madonna.
I did love Madonna.
Yeah,
Very
another
much.
one that I didn't like
her now. Well, I didn't even know she's making new music.
She
Is
might
she?
be. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I loved Madonna for sure.
I think the only song I can say that I like is Like a Prayer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Probably it.
But on that album, it was Express Yourself that I loved.
What did you love about Madonna?
I don't know, honestly. What did every freaking young teenage girl love about her, right? Like, I think she was just different and free and giving us permission to be, you know?
Certainly, like shocking. I mean, I think I enjoyed her persona more than I didn't love her music. I didn't think she was hyper talented. I did like, what was the movie, Truth or Dare? I liked her pushing the envelope. I appreciated that. And I still appreciate that. I think she opened a lot of doors.
Yeah.
I think she was certainly amazing for the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah.
I think that she was a marketing genius.
Yeah.
Like reinventing herself over and over again.
Absolutely.
I think there's something to be said about that, but I was never a fan of her music. I can name more things I wasn't a fan of when I look at this list. Like Duran Duran, I was never a fan of Duran Duran. We went to school with a bunch of Duran Duran fans.
Yeah, big time.
And I was never.
Do you know, I loved Cyndi Lauper more than I loved Madonna. I loved Cyndi Lauper.
I still love Cyndi Lauper. I love everything she does, everything she stands for.
Yeah.
So I have one that I didn't appreciate at the time that you really did that I now love, and that's Whitney Houston.
Yes.
You know what? And I have to think that my brother's influence, because I was the youngest, there was 4 of us, and I was younger by a long shot, and the music that I was surrounded by was not pop, right? It was rock to hard rock to like Van Morrison to the Beatles to a certain extent. And then to come completely flipped that script. My parents' music was like, my mom's music was like the 40s, like big band,
Right.
which I still listen to. Or like Nat King Cole and Ray Charles and all of that stuff. And my dad listened to like Johnny Cash. So I had that as my bedrock of music. And then like my brother's love of Deep Purple and Styx.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
oh God, what's the Geddy Lee? What's that band?
Rush.
Yeah. Like, and I would have been, I think, teased and tormented for liking something like Whitney Houston. So then it took me a while to kind of develop my own taste out of all of that. But now I love Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston comes on, I'm a happy camper.
I was the opposite. So my bedrock, and even though my dad wasn't in my life, I do know that he shared the same love of music as my mom, and they were like disco fever. My mom was like, her mission in life was to marry Barry Gibb. Like, she was in love with Barry Gibb, and
she was not alone in that mission. A lot of women wanted to marry Barry Gibb.
So that's the music I was kind of like raised on until my brother, he discovered heavy metal, which I've never been into. Classic rock, very much so.
Yeah. Well, we were also in a small town that bred classic rock lovers.
Yeah.
Right? Like, wasn't Steve Miller our anthem, basically?
Yeah, Steve Miller. I mean, Zeppelin, AC/DC, all of them, right?
Well, we had a dance to AC/DC, did we not?
We did.
We should really break that out of the vault.
Did. Mm-hmm.
You Shook Me All Night Long, which incidentally was number 10 on VH1's 100 Greatest 80s Songs.
Well, there you go.
One day, maybe for our joint 50th get together, we will recreate. I don't remember it past the first like 3 moves, but
yeah, me too.
Oh, that was something. So what else? So Depeche Mode, that was one we shared.
But that's 90s, no? Was that
89? Was Enjoy the Silence was 89.
Oh, get out of here. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was
so
in high
school. They spanned both. Yeah, you're right. That would have been an 80s band that we didn't learn to appreciate probably till the 90s, which I would say would be true of like most of the Britpop new wave. I got into that probably grade 9, which would have been 90s. And that was a definite like shift in my musical taste when I went into Britpop. You know who I used to listen to in like grade 7 and 8? Harry Connick Jr. Do you remember Harry Connick Jr.?
Oh, I remember you did.
I loved him.
That.
I had a thing for like the old sound. I like that. Of course, the Beastie Boys became my loves, but that was later too. And then the Bangles. I loved the Bangles.
There's the Bangles. There's so many, right? Like there's Tiffany, there's Debbie Gibson.
Well, that's what I want to bring up. I want to bring up Tiffany and Debbie Gibson because on this list, I found Debbie Gibson at 95, only in my dreams. So were you team Debbie or were you team Tiffany?
Tiffany all the way.
100%.
I loved Tiffany.
So did I. When I started I've actually been singing her nonstop today. She's still performing. Did you know this?
Do you know what? It had to be maybe 6-ish years ago. I saw her in concert.
Shut up. How did I not know this?
I saw Chad and I were given.
Was that at a mall? Because all of her videos took place at a mall.
No, it was like, where was it? I think it was in Quebec City or something. And we went and we saw in the same venue, we saw Tiffany, we saw Samantha Fox.
Oh my God, I need you. I need you.
Yeah, exactly. We saw Rick Astley. He was like the headliner.
Shut up.
It was fun. It was really fun. I don't know if Debbie Gibson was there. I can't remember.
Debbie Gibson's still, but they're both still performing from my experience. What about NKOTB? Were you a New Kids fan or an NSYNC fan?
Wahlberg. No, not NSYNC. It was New Kids all the way. I loved the New Kids. In fact, I actually have an interesting story.
About Donnie?
No. Well, I was hoping it would lead to Donnie, but it didn't. So a friend of mine and I went to, a bunch of us actually, went to go see Marky Mark. Everybody, I'm sure, remembers Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. And we see the show, whatever. But then we catch wind of what hotel he's staying at. So we rush after the show back to his hotel, right? And we're sitting in the lobby just waiting, hoping that he comes in. Sure enough, he comes in. And as he's walking, he looks at me and he goes like this, as if come with his finger, right? Like, come here, as if indicating for me to like follow his little entourage of women to his room or something.
You join me.
Like, I didn't move. I'm like, I don't think so.
I don't think so, Marky Mark.
So then the bodyguard came back, interested in another friend. And so he said, come on, guys, just come upstairs. Just come upstairs. So we do. We go upstairs. I never met Marky Mark. Just put that out there right now. Nothing happened or nothing. But he's in the hotel room with us. We're just hanging out. He's talking to my friend because he likes her. And he gets a phone call. And who is on the phone? Donnie Wahlberg. He's the bodyguard. It's his bodyguard too. Or security guard or something. I don't know what exactly his job was.
Oh, the security guard's talking to your friend.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah. And so he gets a phone call and it's Donnie Wahlberg talking to him on the phone. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God. grab the phone. I never did, but that's my story.
He would have come running for a screaming woman.
Right? So close yet so far.
I'm looking at this list that I would like now that I wouldn't have liked back then. Bobby Brown, My Prerogative. I wouldn't have liked it. Well, maybe I did like that then. I
never liked it. No, I never liked it, and I still don't.
You don't like it now? You still don't?
No.
Okay. Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me. I could have done without.
Oh, I listened to that album over and over. Hysteria?
Yeah, Against Your Will or no?
Oh, no. You did. I loved Def Leppard.
The Cure. I loved The Cure. And I mean, the person we're probably not mentioning, who's probably by far the most famous, who I was a massive fan of, is Michael Jackson. I had my Michael Jackson posters. I had a black Cabbage Patch Kid so I could pretend we had had a baby. In fact, and this is not a high point, this was when I was really young. Do you remember that show, That's Incredible?
Yeah.
So people used to write in to That's Incredible. Occasionally they had a segment or something where you could like have your wish fulfilled or something. So I had, and then I'm not proud of this, so please don't anyone think I'm proud of this, but I did write a letter to That's Incredible that my mother intercepted and would not allow me to send, that said I had cancer and I needed to meet Michael Jackson.
Oh my God.
Did
you really?
Oh, and my mother of, she was completely superstitious and thought, should I put anything out into the ether, it would come upon me. So I was wishing cancer on myself.
Oh.
By writing this letter. Oh, she was freaking livid. It was awful. Awful. She did not think that was a good route to go to meet my friend, Michael.
Well, no, I'm going to agree with your mom on that one. Oh, do you know who else I loved?
Who?
Corey Hart. I loved Corey Hart.
Don't even Corey Hart.
I loved him.
I loved Corey Hart.
Big poster on my wall, and I kissed it goodnight every night.
I loved him in those fish lips of his. He had like fish lips. Oh, he was gorgeous. And my mother and I, it was the one thing we agreed on. We both loved Corey Hart.
Okay.
And in grade 8, I'm not going to mention any names, but there was a party. And I wasn't invited to all of the parties, but this party, I think everyone was invited. And I wore my Corey Hart shirt and it went missing. Someone took it.
How does it go missing if you're wearing it?
Well, it was a pool party.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
I didn't take it.
No. Do you remember the party? You know what I'm talking about? That's the whole reason we're doing this episode, so I can uncover and finally have you admit that you were the one that took my Corey Hart shirt.
Damn it. You called
It's a big setup. This whole friendship has been set up. All right. So out of those musical artists or those songs and the artists that we've mentioned, your crushes would have been the Old Edge from U2.
Yes.
And Corey Hart.
Corey Hart. Yep.
Let me see. Okay, let's move right along into movies.
Okay.
What were your favorite movies of the 80s when?
Oh, where do I begin? The 80s movies. I mean, you have Breakfast Club, Weird Science, St. Elmo's Fire, Pretty in Pink.
Weird Science.
My God.
Pretty in Pink. How many times did we watch Pretty in Pink?
Oh, you and John Cryer.
You know what? That's so funny. So I've got this list. I did a chat GBT list of the top young actors of the 80s. And the first thing I wrote down is that John Cryer is missing. I'm like, he did not make the cut. I don't understand. I had very specific crushes. Well, specific, but many when it came to actors. Like I was
Okay.
a big purchaser of the Teen Beat magazine. I had the
Mm-hmm.
posters. I mean, we are jumping ahead here, but I'm very happy to talk about River Phoenix if you want to talk about River Phoenix, because that's
Oh,
probably my
yeah.
biggest. I still have some feeling is evoked when I see River Phoenix, like some,
Yeah.
and it's not just sadness because he's passed. It's like, I don't know if there's a better actor. I mean it. Like, I think that
Yeah.
he was able to portray a vulnerability and,
Yeah. He was good especially for his
oh,
age. My God.
my God.
Mhm.
And then I had a crush on Keanu Reeves for sure, because they kind of were a bit of a package deal. Matthew Broderick and John Cryer. Those would have been my actors.
Okay.
I was a big movie buff.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched a lot of movies, probably to escape my very awkward 80s life. Corey Haim. I mean, talk about a sad end, but I loved Corey Haim. Corey Haim movies.
Did you?
Oh my God. Dream a Little Dream. I was not a Tom Cruise fan. I'm not now, not
No,
then,
I wasn't
never.
either.
No. Johnny Depp.
No.
I maybe What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
I liked Johnny Depp a little.
I have no love for him right now. Emilio Estevez. I had a pretty sizable crush on Emilio Estevez too.
Really?
He was probably my, do you remember St. Elmo's Fire?
Yeah.
I loved his character in St. Elmo's Fire.
That was a great movie. My biggest crush of the 80s, by far, without a doubt, was Corey Feldman.
Lost Boys.
Oh, yeah.
The Lost Boys was 87.
My
I
God, that's a
know.
long time ago.
It's ridiculous. Dead Poets Society. Do you remember the Dead Poets Society?
Yes. I loved that movie.
Running on Empty. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Martha Plimpton.
Oh, I love her too.
I still love her. I
So,
love
yeah.
everything she does.
Yeah.
The Princess Bride. Who didn't love The
Oh.
Princess Bride?
Only fools. Only fools didn't like The Princess Bride.
This is true. Only fools.
Yeah.
All right. Let's mix it up here. We're going to switch right on over to trends.
Okay.
Let's talk about the trends. So my question for you under trends are, what
Yeah.
are 80s trends that you really embraced
Mhm.
and even would still embrace to this day?
Jelly shoes.
Jelly shoes. And again, like I did some just basic Googling about what was popular during the 80s. It didn't show up. And that was the first thing I thought.
What?
Jelly
That's
shoes.
ridiculous.
Did you have many pairs of jelly shoes?
Not many. I didn't have much money. But I get like
But
the knockoff at the Stouffville flea market.
Did they dig into your feet? These plastic shoes we used to wear, wouldn't they have like ruined your feet?
Oh, no, they didn't ruin your feet because I don't know why. I guess because we walked a lot, so our feet were already, leathery.
Toughened?
But
You were walking without shoes somewhere? Where the
that makes no sense. Never mind.
You had leathery feet walking the streets of Stowe. Did you walk barefoot to the flea market?
Bill. No, but I'll tell you, in the dead heat of summer, your feet were not dry.
No, they wouldn't have been. You would have been sliding.
Slopping and sloshing all around in those freaking
I must
things.
have had a pair.
Oh, you must have.
Now I can look back and kind of appreciate certain things that my mother, like where she stood her ground. I was not allowed any labels. My mother was a deep, deep believer in not wearing labels because she refused to advertise, to pay people to advertise. She was staunch. The only time that she broke this rule was grade 7 or 8. I got my first Root sweatsuit. And the only reason she bent on the rule is because they were Canadian. So buy Canadian. She would fit in wonderfully right now with all of our tariff issues.
Yeah.
Because she would only buy Canadian when she was able. She was like fierce on that and fierce on the fact that, I think probably for her, when brands started putting their name across people's chests, that was new.
Mm-hmm.
So she refused to let us do that.
Okay.
So, at the time, that was quite aggravating. Also, we didn't have the money for a lot of the brand names and whatnot. But now I'm kind of like, okay, you were a bit ahead of your time there with your boycotting and your protesting, Ma. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
No, she was. And she had her values.
Yeah. No, for me, it was just money. It was whatever was in the Bargain Herald's discount
Oh,
bin.
yeah. Bargain Harold's, Woolworth,
Buy away.
Woolco. Oh, yeah. The good old days.
Yeah. I can still smell the smell walking into those stores. Like, I still have that scent. It was like this cheap material, like full wardrobe off Temu type of smell. It's just
Made in China kind of smell.
Like chemical polyester, if you will. I don't know. It had this distinct scent. Walking into every single one of those stores had that scent. It was bizarre. I can still smell it.
Woolco, I feel, was a bit more like a Kmart. So it wasn't
Woolco,
quite
I didn't.
as...
Yeah.
Woolco was like upper class for us. You could still
Woolco
get a
was
decent
like
outfit.
a little pricier.
So what other trends?
I remember, and I know this was like grade 9, so this is 90s, early 90s, but I think it carried over from the 80s because my brother had them. Do you remember wearing all those safety pins in your jeans?
I don't think I did, but I definitely remember other people doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they had just had them. I remember my brother just had them on his jeans, like down the front or whatever. But then in high school, it switched to like tapering our own jeans by using tons of safety
we
pins.
did, which was a great look.
Oh my God. I don't know what we were thinking.
I remember using safety pins. Like we'd have safety pins with beads on them and then we would put them on stuff. That I remember.
Yeah, there was that too. Yeah.
Did you have a perm? Did you ever have a perm?
Oh my God. How many? I have I can't even tell you how many times I've tried to perm my hair in my life. And because my hair is so stick straight, 2 days later, as soon as I wash my hair, it's gone.
I had perms. I had multiple perms.
I was even thinking of getting another one.
I'll do it for you when you come.
I want a perm. I want a
And then I'll dress you up in neon and put some shoulder pads and leg warmers on you.
Shoulder pads. That's a bad
And leg warmers. Those were awful. Like if you think, what was the movie that I always relate to shoulder pads? It was a Working Girl. Not Meg Ryan. What's her name?
Oh, Melanie Griffith, wasn't it?
Melanie Griffith, yeah. What was her line in it? I have a mind for business and a bod for sin. Something along those lines. And then she had these massive shoulder pads that would dwarf her head. Like her head looked so tiny to me. And I remember even thinking then, like, how is this attractive? Like the power suit.
Yeah.
I know it was supposed to be like a statement of women in business. I think it was more like a feminist type movement. But I'm like, can't we be feminist and look good all at the same time? Like, do we need to wear boxes on our shoulders?
God, and they were in everything. Shoulder pads were in everything.
Though. I just tried something on with shoulder pads not long ago. Granted, not as big, but I was like, how is this becoming a thing? And that is one thing I will say. There are things that should have died in the 80s that persist today, and I do not understand it.
Such as, other than shoulder pads?
Neon colors. Do we need neon color? Do we need to wear them?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
What about acid wash? Why is that? Why has that made a comeback? What about high-waisted pants? The mom jean movement. So everything was high-waisted in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It was just awful, all of it. Leg warmers, I don't have a problem with. I like leg warmers.
I like leg warmers because I have Raynaud's and they help. I do have a pair.
That's practical.
Yeah.
You know what store? Remember Consumers Distributing?
Yes.
I got my first miniature TV. I had a TV that you could carry by the handle, and the screen was maybe 3 by 3 inches or 4 by 4 inches, a black and white TV, but it also had a radio in it. And man, did I think that was cool. I used to watch TV at night in my room on my like 3 by 3. I'd saved up for this thing, babysitting, and had bought this and thought it was just the best thing.
That store was bizarre. Like, what did you do? You go in and you flip through a magazine. There's just only a counter, right?
And they would have some items behind the desk, but just to kind of highlight like what was hot at that moment.
Right.
Yeah, you would fill out a form and then they would go in the back, pick like Amazon, pick it off a shelf and then come out and give it to you.
Yeah. It was strange.
But it was thrilling. I don't know why. I loved going in there. I loved getting something from there.
I got my first My Little Pony from there, and I was with you and your mom.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah.
Was it white? or
Yeah,
yellow?
it was
It was
gusty.
white.
It was
Gusty.
white,
Oh
and it had
my
like
God.
leaves on its butt.
It's very odd that I remember gusty. Like the things I can't remember, I could fill multiple large notebooks with, but this I remember gusty, the
You
freaking
remember
My
Gusty,
Little
My Little
Pony.
Pony?
So what about
Yeah.
toys? What are their toys from the 80s?
Well, so this is going way back. Well, not anymore because it's made a comeback, but when I was really young, like 7, 8 years old, I was obsessed, absolutely obsessed with strawberry shortcake. I loved
me
her.
too.
I loved blueberry muffin and huckleberry pie, even the purple pie man of Porcupine Peak. Oh, I watched it. I played with it. I love strawberry shortcake. The Easy Bake Oven.
Oh, I loved the Easy Bake Oven. My God, I would still play with an Easy Bake Oven if you gave me one.
Yeah, me too.
I had the Barbie van. I had a VW van. Yeah, no, I had good toys.
I had a phase with Barbie too. But my phase ended quickly because my mom thought I didn't play with Barbie anymore. So she gave my Barbie Date Tonight Center. Do you remember that? The Date Tonight?
No.
It was like in her office, but it converted if you put the bed, like the desk away and whatnot, it turns, it turns into a bed. Like it converts if you flip it around. It's her bedroom.
It was called Date Tonight? Like she was supposed to hook up and bring Ken back?
Date. I think it was the Date Tonight Center or something. I gotta Google this.
Date Tonight Center. Barbie.
Maybe it was Day Tonight.
I think it's Day Tonight. I don't think it's Barbie Get Laid Tonight. That's basically what you're describing is, hey, Barbie gets laid. Hey, that's not hard to believe.
Tonight. It's Day Tonight.
Barbie getting frisky.
Office to bedroom.
Why didn't she just do it on the desk?
What I was saying was I love that thing. And my mom assumed for some strange reason that I didn't play with it anymore. And she fucking gave it to Anya. I was like,
that's it, Anya.
Broken.
I see if Anya, can you return that?
Give me back my Date Tonight.
If Wendy wants a date tonight, she will turn her office into a bedroom. Maybe you can try that move for Chad. Come here, honey. Come into my office. It's now a bedroom. And my limbs don't flex. So let's try.
Oh, God.
Oh, Barbie. You know, I had a chewing fix. I had some type of weird oral fixation when I was young where I would chew everything. And I chewed Barbie's legs off. It's true.
Did you really?
I chewed Barbie's feet off. Most of my Barbies were missing feet. There was
Did you just sit there with a whole Barbie in your hand and just chew on her legs?
Never mind my hand. It was in my mouth. I chewed her feet off. I guess I had a nervous thing. I don't know.
How did you just sat there with the whole Barbie doll in your hand, just like
having my deep thoughts, as you know. Well, fucking gnawing. As I say it out loud, it sounds troublesome. But a couple of my Barbies had like these long pieces of plastic sticking out.
Their bones.
Pretty much.
Oh, God.
It's horrific.
That's funny.
I don't know when. I think we've covered a good chunk of the 80s. It's almost your birthday.
It is.
Have you come more to terms with the old 5-0?
Yeah, no, I've come to terms with it. It's fine. It's whatever. I'm just, I'm not excited about it, but I'm not like sad about it anymore. It's just, it is what it is.
Well, I think I would like to invite, so I know probably we're hitting on the demographic of our listeners. So if anyone wants to share some 80s, not 90s, 80s memories or opinions, we'd love to hear them and we can revisit them next episode.
We have a listener question.
Do we really?
We do really.
You're the keeper of the questions.
So this one is from Connor in Ontario.
Oh.
And he's asking, which animal would you have left out of the ark?
That's a great question. Which animal? Were there insects on the ark or was it just animals? Like mammal?
I don't know. I was thinking mosquito, but maybe not insects. Let's put some parameters on this because
the parameters have to be what animals were on the ark. I need to know what animals were on the ark.
Yes. Well, all the animals. It was a male and female of all the animals.
No, there's a list. Porcupines, dogs, swine, pigeons, deer, sheep, pigeons. I leave off the pigeons.
Okay.
I don't want the pigeons.
You don't want the pigeons?
Did I tell you in Rome, a bird, quite possibly a pigeon, flew directly into my head?
Yeah, you told me that. And that's,
yeah.
I don't want to, that made me hesitate to want to go.
Slapped against my head. I'm not even joking. A bird flew into my head, not whizzed by me, not came close, not grazed me with a wing, flew into my head. So with that, Connor, I'd like to leave the pigeons off the ark. What about you?
I would like to say all birds, but I can't. So
that is not kind. There's some beautiful birds.
I know, but I don't like them. But they are pollinators, so I won't take that away. I will say the honey badger.
What do you have against? What did they do?
They're crazy. You've never seen that honey badger video?
I can't remember what it did.
Oh, I'll have to send it to you. They're crazy. They're crazy.
Okay. I believe you. So no more honey badgers.
No, I don't want them.
All right. Well, that's a good listener question. I like that one.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Well, it's been a slice, Wendy.
That was fun. That was a good 80s memory lane there.
Yeah. I hope everyone else finds it fun. As we name movies and actors that we had crushes on.
Sitting here on the camera, I gotta explain to the listeners.
What?
All I see is you holding a pen and your cat.
Trying to get him to stop eating my computer cords. He's chewing on all my computer cords. So then I'm nonchalantly trying to get him not to do that and electrocute himself. Don't die on me. What? Oh, it's just hitting. Is it just the paw coming out that's killing you?
Side of the screen and taking your pen away. It looks like something in a movie or something. It's really funny.
It's my 80s movie.
Sorry. Anyway. Okay.
All right, Wen. So let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Well, let's put an end to this. And why don't you take care of our housekeeping?
Let's put an end to this. Number 1 episode in the making.
Where we list off things we liked about the 80s. Listen, it's not easy to come up with a question every week, number 1. And number 2, sometimes you visualize things going a different way, and then you realize you're naming movies from the 80s.
Oh, never mind. It was a good fun trip down memory lane.
Sharing,
I liked it.
Yeah. And it's nice to take a lighter look at things sometimes, for sure. What a gong show. Wendy, take care of the housekeeping, would you?
Okay. If you have any questions or comments you would like to share with us, you can email us at themidconversations@gmail.com, Instagram and YouTube at @themid_podcast. Our Facebook page is @midpodcast, and you can even subscribe to receive an email when we release a new episode on our website at themidconversations.wixsite.com/podcast. Ta-da!
Well done. You've done a beautiful job. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to The Mid, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Or you'll listen to us. Yeah. You'll hear us next week.
You'll hear us
bye-bye.
next week. Bye-bye.
The mid.